Okay, friends, it is the night we have all been waiting for. Back this up just a little bit. We are going to be making Chick-Fil-A inspired chicken nuggets. They are a family favorite. They are gluten-free, dairy-free, good for you chicken nuggets. And honestly, you cannot go wrong with a chicken nugget for dinner. So if you caught my stories earlier, we have been marinating our chicken in a pickle juice brine. So literally pour some pickle juice out of a jar that you have and literally just let the chicken sit in it. It's preferable to do it overnight, but if you're like me and have a busy life and you kind of forgot, it's okay to put it into the brine for just about an hour minimum. So I put mine in, I think it was right about 3 hours ago. So while not fully overnight, it's still gonna be okay. So you're gonna need, all the recipe details are on my blog. It's another recipe by 40 Aprons. If you watched my last episode, I used a recipe from her. All of her stuff is amazing. So you're gonna need some coconut flour, some almond flour, some tapioca starch, coconut oil for frying, an egg, salt, pepper, and then these seasonings. It calls for oregano and basil, and I have Italian seasoning, so we're just gonna go with that. Garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. So after your chicken is diced up, I use 3 chicken breasts, but the recipe calls for 2. So once that's soaking in the pickle brine, you're going to mix up all of your dry ingredients. So I have here, calls for 2/3 cup almond flour, that's this one. Hopefully y'all can hear me. My husband is mowing the grass outside. Okay. So we're gonna do 2/3 cup of almond flour. And then, let's see. Try and keep the door shut, baby. 1/2 cup of your coconut flour. If you've never used coconut flour before, I encourage you to try it. It is so light and fluffy, and it creates such a crispy, delicate breading on your chicken nugget. So good. 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch. So tapioca starch is kind of like cornstarch to me, but if you have a sensitivity to grains or corn, then tapioca is a good substitute for that. So 2 starches. And I have no idea if it has any relation to like tapioca pudding. My grandma used to love eating that, and it was always like, well, I don't know. I never actually had any. I just had a aversion to what it looked like, what it smelled like. So we're just going to use a little fork to mix up our dry ingredients here. We're gonna add our seasonings in a minute. We're gonna do 3/4 cup, not a cup, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And let's see, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. It's right here. Y'all, I should have opened this beforehand or poured it into my cute little bowls like they do on official cooking shows. All right, we're just gonna eyeball that because I poured way too much in there. All right, onion powder. It might be a little oniony. That's okay. 1/4 teaspoon of Italian. You know, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Here, a little Italian. Some garlic powder. This one calls for 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. So I'll go ahead and pop this lid off so I can actually measure. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon garlic. This is a 1/4 teaspoon, by the way. 2/4 equals 1/2. My math teacher, I am using math in the real world. Kids, if y'all are watching, there are times when you need math, even if it feels like it's the most ridiculous thing to do. All right, and then paprika actually gets 1 whole teaspoon. And then pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. That's gonna make me sneeze. And we're almost there. Okay, that's all for the seasoning. So I'm gonna move those out of the way for y'all. Now, all right, we used all of that. Okay, so set those out of the way. So let me come up here and show y'all. So we've got a really good, nice little blend of breading here. We're gonna mix up all of those good seasonings, get them nice and distributed all throughout, and then we will start. I'm gonna put some heat into the pan, turn the stove on, put some heat on the stove, put some oil in the pan to start preheating, because once we get these breaded, it's gonna be super quick. So I have some cold pressed coconut oil. You can use pretty much any cooking oil that you would like. I just like to do this recipe with coconut oil, 1, because it calls for it, and 2, it's a lighter oil and it gives it that nice, just a nice crunch without being too overwhelming. So now what we're gonna do is put our egg in here, use the fork to whisk it around. Okay, I am gonna go to the sink and pour out the pickle juice and wash my hands, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's still a little pickle juice in there. You don't have to get it like all the way out. It's fine. I am going to need a plate. So now the fun part, we are going to bread our chicken. I'm gonna move a little bit closer so y'all can see. We're gonna bread our chicken and get it ready for the frying stage. So you'll take your chicken out of the pickle juice, kind of dip it into the egg, and then, you know, I need to backwards these, trade places. We're gonna drop those into the flour mixture and kind of bring them back up, put them on the plate. Kind of brought a little too much of my breading with it. Maybe I should do a little less at a time. So I really believe that the pickle juice is the secret ingredient to this recipe. Crucial step, secret ingredient, magic sauce, whatever you want to call it. It does something to the chicken. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like they crisp up. I keep saying crisp like a weirdo. They get a nice crunchy shell on them. Now that sounds equally gross. Maybe I should just stop talking. Crispy, crunchy outer coating. And then when you bite into it though, the pickle juice just tenderizes the chicken and gives it this juicy, delicious flavor. And they're better than the original chicken, if I do say myself. I love me some Chick-Fil-A, I do. But I have a gluten allergy and I can no longer eat the breaded nuggets, and I miss them. I do miss them. So getting to make myself a version that I can eat, it's so fun and it's so good. I'm thinking, because I did more than the required chicken, I'm gonna run out of batter, but I will make a batch of this up and then I can finish my batch after we get off the air. Because my goal with y'all is to keep this very simple, very easy, and show you that cooking healthy, making healthy options for yourself and for your family is not overwhelming. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to make these gourmet recipes. I'm frying chicken nuggets, y'all. It's simple. So let's move to the stove. Set y'all right here. I know I'm gonna chop myself off, but I think I want y'all to see the chicken cooking more than me. So just know that I'm here in spirit. Okay, so our coconut oil has melted. We're ready to see if it's ready to fry. Let me see. Might be hot. Okay. If you drop a little bit of breading in there and it does not bubble up, it's likely not ready to fry. You want it good and hot, because if you put chicken or any type of food into oil that is not hot enough, it's just gonna soak up that oil like a sponge and taste disgusting and greasy and gross. So we don't want that. So we're gonna fire up our heat a little bit more and get ready to cook. I get another set of tongs. These are all kind of, let's see. See, they're not sizzling yet. I need it to heat up. While we're here, let's talk about sides with your Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. I'm going to make some sweet potato fries and a salad on the side, and call it a night. Yeah, my pan. I'm like, is my oven on? It says it is. Okay, here we go. We're almost there, y'all. Hang with me. One more minute. Y'all, it is thundering outside. I can't believe it. I hope it rains. It has been so long since we have had any significant rain here in Texas. Y'all, my pan is still being not good. I'm so sorry. They're slightly sizzling. Can y'all see it? Just a little bit. Okay. You want to make sure that the pieces aren't piled up on each other. You want to put them in a single layer in the pan. And then not like crowding them will help with them cooking fast and evenly. Now notice that I only put a little bit of oil down in the pan. We don't need these to be deep fried. We're just pan frying them. Actually, a little bit more because there's a little bit of oil running away. All right, there's that sizzle we're looking for. Okay. So how have y'all been liking the show? I want to hear from y'all. I think that I'm gonna run a little giveaway here soon for subscribing to my channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so that you know when a new video is dropping. I try to let y'all know well enough in advance, you know, on my Monday blog posts, but just in case you missed that, I know life is crazy and there's a lot of notifications out there. Let's turn on those post notifications and subscription. Okay, woo! I wish y'all could smell these. They are so, they smell so good. I'm gonna give y'all a zoom in. And so I had a question earlier this week and they said, does it actually taste like Chick-Fil-A? I'm gonna have you make it and then you be the judge because I think they're pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Okay. Woo. One of these days I will not have a crazy camera for y'all. But, so then, y'all stuck with me. Okay, now we're gonna flip them. Once they look kind of golden brown on one side, you're gonna flip them over to the other. Obviously, you want to make sure that any chicken is cooked to 165 internal temperature. I am so paranoid about food poisoning that I like religiously will check anything that I cook to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. I'm so scared. I got a hold of some bad chicken, and I don't know if I should tell this story while cooking chicken, but I got a hold of some bad chicken and literally got an infection in my digestive system and was sick for a month and a half straight. It took forever for me to recover, so I've been like scarred for life because of that. Look at them, y'all, they look so good. Now my pan's a little uneven, so that middle part's kind of getting a little darker because there's less oil there, but oh, they look so good. I'm so happy. A little oil in there. Oh. Coconut oil is also another one of those oils that's good to cook with for something like this because it does have a high smoke point. So total on the recipe it says that these should take like 3 minutes on each side, so you don't want to overcook them. Definitely cook them through, but not overcook. And yeah, throw some frozen fries in the oven or air fryer. Make a salad, and you have a delicious, healthy dinner for the family that kids and husbands would approve of. So, thank y'all for joining. I think we're pretty much done. Look at that delicious golden brown nuggets. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop some meal suggestions in the comments. This was a highly requested meal, rightfully so. I can't wait to join y'all next week. I'll talk to y'all later.